Welcome back to the State of the Nation 2026. And of course, you just saw footage there of the red carpet and of course the band that is playing as we look ahead to President Cyril Ramaphosa's speech, which is going to be happening at 7 o'clock. Let me welcome my next guest. He's a member of Parliament for the Democratic Alliance, Jan De Villiers. Jan, absolute pleasure having you and thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
No, absolute pleasure. So Jan, obviously the DA is part of the Government of National Unity.
Yes.
But from the party's perspective, what are you expecting from the president's speech today?
So I think it's important to say that the GNU has made some really good grounds. The country has come off the grey list. The currency has strengthened. Our debt as a country has stabilized. I think we're seeing some green sprouts, some forward momentum, but it is not enough. We need some more real reform. We need action, not just promises. We're hoping to see change and policy direction towards employment and stimulating the economy, because at the moment the most important thing that we need to do for South Africa is create more jobs. We have an unemployment rate that is absolutely unacceptable and a great source of trouble for the people of South Africa. So we really want to see the president speak about how we're going to stop black economic empowerment, because it's only enriching a select few people, a select group of entrepreneurs, and it's keeping foreign investment out of South Africa, because international companies don't want to come and give away ownership when they come to South Africa to comply with BEE. We really need to look at our harbors and our rail systems. We need privatization to come into those systems so that our exporters don't land goods in the harbor and it ends up going to waste there instead of being exported, which is currently the case in our harbors. We really need to break the monopoly of Eskom. A dependable power grid that's been privatized is really, really important, so that we can get competitive energy prices, and that the consumer, whether they are a small household or a big company, that everybody knows that there will always be dependable power. What's really important to see as well is that we ring fence water and electricity revenue. Everybody knows about how sensitive water is at the moment, that water infrastructure is failing. That's because municipalities are not reinvesting the money they bring into their municipalities back into water and electricity infrastructure. So we're saying ring fence that revenue. There must be a law that it goes back into the municipalities for maintenance and reinvestment into infrastructure.
Yeah, you mentioned triple BEE.
Yes.
The ANC has argued that the DA does not want to see this happen because it is anti-progressive.
Yes.
How do you respond to that? How does the DA respond to that?
I think if you really want to talk about transformation or empowerment or helping people, then it should be laws that help everybody. It should not be race-based. If a South African is in the unemployment sector, if they are looking for a job, we should have economic empowerment laws that benefit that person, whether they are black or Indian or white. The race is not the measure. The fact that we have unemployment and that we should attack that, and that we should have transformation laws that help people get employment, that's what we should focus on. So the DA is 100% for economic empowerment, but it should not be based on race, because the moment you make race the category, then you get entrepreneurship and you get very, very rich connected individuals with the ANC government getting just richer, and it's called BEE.
Jan, the ANC and the DA have been loggerheads on a number of issues, whether it's a land expropriation bill, the NHI bill, the Bella bill. Where does two of the biggest parties within the GNU draw the line in terms of agreement? Because that seems to be a lot of the disagreement that has come between the parties.
Yeah, so I think that's the difficulty of a coalition government. We are two big parties, obviously us being the second biggest party and the ANC being the biggest party, that have to find common ground in steering the GNU into a direction which we have to try and benefit all South Africans. Obviously, in a situation like that, there will be ideological clashes and a disagreement about where we should go with certain things. And I think the VAT battle was a
Yes.
very good example, where the ANC wanted to increase VAT, and the DA just said, well, listen, you can kick us out of the GNU if you want to, but we will not vote for a budget where citizens have to pay more tax. So we have to choose strategically where we draw hard lines. On VAT, we drew a line in the sand. We said we're not going for this. But obviously, politics is sometimes the art of compromise, and you should always ask yourself, what is the alternative? The DA is very sensitive to the fact that the alternative to us being in the GNU with the ANC is the EFF or the MK party being in power with the ANC. And that is what we call the doomsday coalition. The markets will crash. It would be a catastrophic moment for South Africa. So while we can find the ANC and we can cooperate with them and we can steer the country into improvement, we will still have the fights. We will still have a bit of boxing about some of the issues. But the reality is, I think the country is on a better trajectory today than it was before the GNU.
I want to touch on the local government elections that are coming up, Jan. Obviously, the the DA, beg your pardon, has got Helen Zille contesting for the Johannesburg mayoral position. You've got Mr. Hussein contesting for eThekwini. We have to see what's going to happen with, of course, the DA leadership structure within Cape Town. But is it safe to say, from a DA's perspective, that you're already content with having coalition governments, given what we're seeing right now in terms of the makeup of the political sphere and governance within the country?
Yeah, so typically you don't decide whether you want to go into a coalition before you know what the election outcome is. But I think we have illustrated that we are 100% willing to go into coalitions where it is needed. But coalitions are fundamentally a difficult situation to be in. And we would like to implore our voters to rather give their votes to a party that can actually take control and has a track record of service delivery. Because for the DA, we've proved that we have the best service delivery record of any political party in the country. It is a much more difficult situation when we have to go into coalition governments to govern than when we can outright govern cities. So our first wish and what we work for at all times is to outright win metros. But when we find ourselves in positions where we can turn a metro or a town around via a coalition partner that aligns with our values, our core values, then yes, we will look at coalition governments.
Jan De Villiers, absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
That's Jan De Villiers, Member of Parliament for the DA.